has created some of the most iconic heroes of all time wearing the best fashion, but it takes a lot to look that good. Is there any DC costume more iconic than Superman? Fighting words, I know, but the red, yellow, and blue with the big S? You'd know that anywhere. Every Superman gets their own version of the suit when the character gets rebooted, and Brandon Routh seems to have gotten the short end of the stick. His suits received a lot of criticism. Nothing was safe. Every part was complained about by somebody. The colors were off, the S was too small, the cape was weird, the neckline was too high, the list goes on. But what Brandon Routh, Christopher Reeve's Superman hated the most about the look was the methods used to achieve the physique to fill out the tight suit properly. The actor needed to follow a strict diet, sharing that he was eating a lot of egg whites and chicken, and also had an extreme workout routine to follow that included 4 a.m. runs around the city. So the costume wasn't loved by fans, and the method to fit perfectly into that costume wasn't loved by the actor. Thankfully, this didn't stop Brandon from giving a great performance and bringing the American hero to life. Burt Ward played Robin in the 1966 Batman show, and he dealt with quite a unique issue when it came to his costume, one that he briefly took medication for. The original Robin and Batman suits from the 60s were not very thick, actual fabric instead of hard, armored material that we sometimes see on heroes today. This led to some issues with certain things showing through on camera that were not considered appropriate for TV at the time. Speaking to page 6, Burt Ward gave an interesting tidbit about the costuming process. He was showing too much through his green shorts that the studio sent him to a doctor to get pills to shrink him. I can't believe that's real. Old Hollywood was a wild place. But Ward came to his senses really quick, only taking the pills 3 days before realizing they might have a negative effect on the possibility of him having children someday. To fix the problem, he just used his cape to hide himself. If you were wondering if Batman was affected by anything weird like this in 1966, well, he was, just on the opposite end of the spectrum. Adam West apparently needed something extra, and they would use small towels to get the effect needed. Truly, I cannot believe it. Despite this likely uncomfortable costuming, West provided an excellently campy version of the character that lives on in the hearts of fans even 60 years later. He even went on to lend his voice to many Batman animated series and films as various characters. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is one of the most iconic representations of the character. If you see a Harley Quinn on Halloween, they'll probably be wearing Margot's Suicide Squad fit. Margot didn't love the costume she was wearing though. Margot shared that as herself, she wasn't feeling comfortable wearing the outfit and that she felt self-conscious while filming some scenes. Giving examples like eating lunch and then needing to go film scenes in the revealing outfits. She did clarify though that just because she, the actress, doesn't like wearing the clothes doesn't mean the character hates wearing the clothes. Margot recognized that Harley Quinn must like the clothing if she was wearing it, and that to properly portray the character, she has to fake confidence, saying you need to act like you think you're really gorgeous, and you need to be completely convinced with that because everyone else will believe it too. Later iterations of Robbie's Harley Quinn received outfits with more coverage. In Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn is seen in full jumpsuits. The hardest suits to wear just seem to all have something to do with Batman. Michael Keaton is just another example. Keaton played Bruce Wayne in 1989's Batman, in 1992's Batman Returns, and then in 2023's The Flash. When he first wore the suit in the late 80s and early 90s, Keaton was not having a good time. At least that's what one can gather from his comments about it. Keaton shared in a 2014 interview that the suit was very claustrophobic. He also shared that there was an uncertainty about whether or not the suit was even going to work properly, saying that it was mere hours before filming was set to start that they were sure it was good to go. Keaton recalled that it was very difficult to get out of the suit, sharing that he sometimes held off drinking just so he wouldn't need to use the washroom. He did drink water throughout filming, so he's okay. The other challenge that has plagued Batman actors since hardshell Batman masks were created was turning his head. He couldn't. Keaton recalled learning that he had to do full turns to interact with scene partners. Putting on his bat suit in 2023 was more fun for the actor though, as it was more like nostalgia filled, even asking the director of the movie to take pictures of him in the suit so he could show them to his grandkids. Malin Ackerman played Silk Spectre in Watchmen. She loved the character but hated the costume. She said the suit she had to wear was so uncomfortable and would pinch her. The suit was made of a very tight latex that the actress said showed all her contours, so she had a strict exercise routine. The outfit also made temperature a tough thing to deal with. If it was cold outside, the costume would make the actress colder. If it was hot, the actress would be boiling alive. The costume also apparently smelled horrible, not surprising honestly. Bending her arms was a struggle, just overall it seemed seemed like a horrible piece to wear. Add on to all that a corset is inside, making her waist 3 inches smaller than usual. It's a miracle she could do anything while wearing that. The worst part of all this was the costume didn't make the actress feel powerful. That's all you want to feel when you put on a supersuit. She hated the costume so much that she said she would only reprise the role if the costume was scrapped. Gal Gadot brought Wonder Woman to the big screen and did such a great job you would never be able to tell she was wildly uncomfortable. I'm surprisingly not referring to the iconic look from the first film, though that was extremely tight according to the actress, or when she had to do reshoots while pregnant. I'm talking about the golden armor from the second film Wonder Woman 1984. In an interview with BBC Radio 1, Gal Gadot shares that she had a love-hate relationship with her new golden suit. She said, "It's been a great costume to wear, and now when I see it, I'm like, yes, I'm so happy we did it, but working and filming and shooting and fighting in this costume was very challenging to say the least. I'm glad that the uncomfortable nature of the suit was worth it in the end." The director of the film, Patty Jenkins, loved the suit from the first minute she saw it on Gal Gadot. Speaking on it, she said, "I'm obsessed with that armor." So obsessed, she refused to make adjustments. When Gal claimed she couldn't move, Jenkins allegedly said, "Well, it's too bad, we're doing it and you're not taking it off. So I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're gonna have to figure out how to do this action in this thing because we are doing it." Gal did figure it out and does look great in the movie. Christian Bale portrayed Bruce Wayne in the critically acclaimed The Dark Knight trilogy. He did such a good job. He is regarded as one of the best Batmans ever, but he actually almost quit the film because he hated his suit so much. Scary to imagine, I know, but Bale is very claustrophobic and the Batsuit isn't exactly roomy. In an interview with Access Hollywood, Bale spoke about putting on the suit and his reaction to it, saying, "I felt like they should recast. I really did, because it was so claustrophobic that I didn't feel like I could breathe. I felt they've made a mistake and I can't do this." The Batsuit is pretty tight and has limited mobility, something they actually addressed in one of the films. When Bruce asks for the suit to be slightly redesigned to have a neck with more movement, Bale doubled down on his opinion on the Batsuit try-on during a press conference for The Dark Knight Rises, saying, "The claustrophobia was just unbelievable. I stood there and thought, this is too tight, this is squeezing my head, I'm about to have a nervous breakdown." Of course, no one wants to know a world without Christian Bale's Batman, so what the actor did to fix all this was request some time alone in the suit where he could just sit for 15 to 20 minutes to get used to the feeling, eventually getting used to it. Clearly. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is one of the most iconic examples of the character to hit the big screen. She looked amazing, which means she was amazingly uncomfortable. The skin-tight leather suit had to fit her perfectly, and it took a lot of trial and error to make that happen. Pfeiffer recalled her time in the character's shoes in a 2017 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, sharing details about the costume and how hard it was to wear it. About getting into it, she said, "It was the most uncomfortable costume I've ever been in. They had to powder me down, help me inside, and then vacuum pack the suit." She continued sharing details about the iconic suit's memorable aspects like its signature shine, sharp claws, and cat mask. "They looked good, but they were dangerous." She said they'd paint it with a silicone-based finish to give it its trademark shine. "I had those claws, and I was always catching them in things. The face mask was smashing my face and choking me." Overall, it doesn't sound like a pleasant experience. By the time filming was over, Pfeiffer was so over the outfits that she ended up burning many of them in the end of production bonfire. In a strange twist, years later, Pfeiffer says she wished she'd kept at least one of the suits. I cannot think of a worse situation than what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to go through as Mr. Freeze in Batman Forever. I would hate my costume too. Getting into the costume was like a punishment for him. It's reported it took 11 people 6 hours to bring Mr. Freeze to life. He did have very complicated makeup. His whole face had to come out of the chair blue and shiny. Then there was the blue contacts he had to wear and the fact that he had to shave his head. But worst of all, the thing I'm surprised he survived was what they did to his mouth. The costume designers for the film came to the conclusion that making Mr. Freeze's mouth glow would be perfect for the character. And he did look cool. It also put the actor in a dangerous situation. They used LED lights inside his mouth to get the glowing effect. They were fitted around his teeth. What the costume team seems to have forgotten is that humans produce saliva. The saliva came into contact with the batteries that were powering the light up teeth and started messing with those batteries, causing battery acid to get in the actor's mouth. Obviously, Arnold was not happy about this, and it unsurprisingly tasted horrible. The issue was fixed by a balloon protecting the batteries for later shots. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make your mark on the comment section down below. This is Juliana signing off. Bye!